Probably the most important thing Ms. Hernandez did was she introduced herself right away. As soon as we all met the first day of school with teacher prep, we all immediately introduced ourselves to each other. We exchanged our contact numbers.
We spent a lot of time together, after school, talking, chatting about our kids and everything. And once we had a friendship almost, then we could share ideas more and talk about teaching. Once we got, started talking about outside of school, then we started to talk more about what was happening in the classroom.
So if he could take those testing kids for your class,
We really talked about our goals and views as teachers and what we wanted for our children this year, and that helped us to get a really good starting point.
Ms. Hernandez at the beginning of the school year did a really good job of communication right off the bat and just giving me a view of exactly what her strengths are and maybe some weaknesses that she might have and how we can work together with my strengths and weaknesses to make sure that every student is reached.
what we ended up doing was I kind of laid low for the first month, and I just told them that I would be observing and simply assisting the students who needed help.
Once we got to know each other though and started hearing how the other would teach, it eventually worked out. We learned each other's styles, and then we planned all of our, the Christmas concert and Black History program together, and we were able to work it out.
While I kind of do a review with the ones that have fallen behind a bit.
At first it was a little bit difficult because we were worried about stepping on each other's toes. A lot of times Ms. Hernandez would ask me, well, is it okay if I interject or if I have something to add?
She told us about her expectations in the classroom. We told her what ours were, and we kind of had a happy medium from there. We just had that base discussion, and it's kind of just grown and flourished.
What worked the past week with our students and what isn't working?
What are our learning intention when we are focusing on our lessons, and what are the success criteria?
What's happening this week? What's happening and who's doing what?
Right, so instead of social studies, I'm just going to do a quick map. So if he could take those testing kids. When I look back to our first meeting when we were kind of establishing our norms and establishing when we would meet and how we would meet, I introduced them to the exit ticket idea and asked them what they thought about it. And I kind of explained how doing that would help us assess our students on a daily basis. I let them take the lead with the teaching every day while I was still creating modified homework and supports for the students, while at the same time implementing the exit ticket system that these teachers were also brand new to.
You almost think, is this person criticizing me? What are they thinking? Are they judging? But, that's what I thought at first, but it didn't turn out to be that way at all.
Every Friday when we do meet, we're able to look at that data from the exit slips and be like, oh, these 5 students have consistently, they've not been getting mastery, so we're going to take those students and reteach and help them on Fridays.
She asked, what can I do for you? How can I help you? And it was like, wow,
What I did, just as a little thing at the beginning of the year, was I kind of went through my bin of resources. I went through things that I had used the year before, and I gave those to the teacher, and they were automatically like, wow, thank you. My special ed teacher's never given me this stuff before. Let that other person do what they want to do first, so that you can end up compromising.
Well, I think one of the primary things when you're going into any issue and discussing with anybody is just mutual respect, especially when it's a colleague, considering the other person's feelings and reactions to things, and just taking a look at the whole picture.
if I have certain things on my agenda, it's so very important to approach that and present those ideas in more of a, what do you think about this? This is how I've seen it work in the past, or this is what I've seen work with other teachers. Would you mind trying it? And we'll see how it goes. I'd love to try some of your ideas too. And I just forget about everything I did that day.
Really?
So if he could take those testing kids.
The most strenuous thing for new teachers is learning how to give yourself a voice, especially with a more experienced teacher. So I think that you need to make sure that you assert yourself in a positive manner, but that if you know that something isn't the way you want it to be, that you voice your opinion. We both kind of take a step back and we look at what each other wants for our kids, and it always is like the same thing, even though we come to it a different way. I always say that co-teaching is like a marriage. If you're not happy at work, your relationship's going to be horrible, and it causes a lot of tension and meltdown with the kids too. So just constantly trying to be on the same page, discuss any issues as they come about, and take them from there.